Hello everyone, Anne here, the little Frenchie in Big Texas. Welcome to my channel. So I'm in the kitchen today and we are going to talk food preservation. Because I've been working pretty hard here with my freeze dryer, preserving food, using either, what do I have here? Jars. So that is my freeze dried milk. That's my last batch actually, with an oxygen absorber at the top, and I have a moisture desiccant at the bottom, just because it's pretty wet here and I want it to remain powder. So this is it. And here I've got my Maillard bag with some banana slice here, or mozzarella, shredded cheese. So all this in the Maillard bag I put in a big plastic tote, just to make sure we won't have any rodent getting into it. So I've been working pretty hard here, you know, on all the long-term food storage, either with jars or Maillard bags. But I've been disregarding the pantry. The door you see here with the Eiffel Tower in the back, that is the pantry. And it's not that small and we have quite a bit of food in there. And a few weeks ago I discovered some little bugs, flying bugs in there, which kind of freaked me out. So I started pretty much cleaning it all and trying to find the culprit here. Where were these bugs coming from? And I found some old oatmeal individual bags. Actually, I had 2 boxes that had been there for over 2 years, were expired, not looking good, and these bugs are just spreading super fast. So I've been cleaning the whole pantry here, looking at all the expiration date on everything and trying to put everything into a safer, I would say, storage bag or jar. But the issue is jars, because I've been working on jars quite a bit. So I went through all my pancake mix here. So this is a jar of pancake. The issue with all we have in there is that it would take a lot of jars to put everything in there. And the jars are not that cheap anymore and pretty heavy. So it would be a lot of weight on the shelves. So I did jars, but I'm looking at other containers and just sharing with you here. I just got these containers here, so I got them last weekend. So here I put all my pita chips, and they're actually pretty cool. And worked on my pasta, because I have a lot of pasta. I love pastas. So all this is short midterm storage. I just don't want bugs getting into them. But this is something we're gonna keep using and eating. So that's not long term, but I really like these containers. Let me show you one empty. So that's a long one. So you can see, and you pretty much put it down and click it. I wash them first, and yeah, you click, and it seals pretty good. So I've been happy so far. I'm gonna do more pasta, and I also got another box with different sizes, and I will put the link to these containers in the description below. I got them off Amazon. They were running a little discount on this brand because there are a lot of brands to choose from. So you might find another brand that you like. So far I've been pretty happy. They come sealed, you know, with the warnings thing here. I have to break to be able to open, and pretty good quality. So I've got different sizes because I wanted to put more than just pasta in there. I have sugar, for instance. So far for the sugar we use every day, I'm recycling some of my pasta sauce here, as you can see, for the sugar. So that's good for everyday use, but I want to have a bit of a bigger container. So what do we have in there? So that's a container mix, as you can see here. Different sizes. I have one large, like my pastas, and I have smaller sizes. Yes, 1, 2, perfect. Good. So I'm gonna work on it some more this weekend. I pretty much spent last weekend on it. It comes also, as you could see here, with some very nice little stickers and a white marker. That looks actually kind of professional almost, no? I like it. So far I've been very happy, and I'm gonna keep putting everything into these containers. My sugar, the flour, probably gonna use one for flour, but I have quite a bit that I'm gonna put either in jars or in Mylar bags for the flour, because I have a bit too much. But I first want to make sure the flour is good, because here in Texas we get bugs very easily in the flour. So I might actually dry can the flour, you know, with the heat, just to make sure if there's any bug in it, it's gonna die in the heat. I've already placed 2 bags in the freezer, sorry, they've been there for the week. So if there's any bugs, they're gonna be killed as well. And this, if it's in the freezer, I don't have to go through the dry can and the heat. I can just vacuum seal in a jar or a Mylar bag. So it's a bit more flexible, but it takes quite I would say a week in the freezer here to make sure all the bugs are killed, if any in there. I mean, when I say any, it's something I would not be able to see with my naked eyes. So obviously if I see a bug, I'm not gonna keep, but so far these bags, I haven't seen any. But for the ones I have here, I want to can quickly. I might just dry can, it's gonna be 2 hours and done. So working on that this weekend. But something also I wanted to cover with you is that I went through last weekend pancakes, because I had quite a bit of pancakes mix. I love pancakes. And I had different brands, and given I had to look at the dates and everything, I started looking at the ingredients as well. Very interesting. Let me share with you 3 brands. So what are my brands? So I have the Kodiak cakes here from Costco. The ones pretty much I personally prefer. They're full of protein, quite a bit of fiber. And when you look at the ingredient, I don't see anything bad in it, you know. It's whole grain flour, whole grain oat flour, wheat protein, brown sugar, milk protein, buttermilk, and some leavening and sea salt. So not bad at all. I don't see any warning that is GMO or anything modified. So that one, pretty good. So I still have this one to process and put in some of these containers. It's probably gonna last a few months, so that's one. The other one I have that I also bought from Costco is, I started processing it last weekend. It was actually pretty well sealed. So it's the Krutzeak, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Anyway, buttermilk, light and fluffy. So very good bag. That one is still a pretty good deal actually at Costco when you look at prices. And I started looking at ingredients as well on that one. So when you look at ingredients, it's the same. It's actually pretty good looking, healthy, I would say, with enriched bleach flour, wheat flour, barley flour, niacin, iron. They've got a bit more of the vitamins added, maybe mononitrate, riboflavin, folic acid, sugar, dextrose. They have a bit more added into this one, some egg whites, buttermilk, soybean oil, food starch modified, I don't like it too much modified, salt, but I don't see any warning sign that it's GMO modified or anything. No big additive that really flack my eyes, except for this modified starch. Doesn't say how modified it is, but aside from that, it looks pretty decent, I would say, as a number 2, but it's not that high on protein. I think you only have 4 grams of protein per serving, while this one here, the Kodiak, sorry, you've got 14. So, but it's not the same price either. Now, my last one, I got very surprised because I usually do not buy that brand. I think if I got it, it must have been a super deal at the store, like buying something and getting that one for free, because it is much cheaper than the other ones. And they don't carry that at Costco. I must have had it at Kroger or H-E-B as part of a deal. And I looked at the ingredients, and that was one. Wow. First, the list is much longer. So the first items, okay, enriched bleach flour, okay, that's all normal. Buttermilk, salt, canola oil, okay, potassium bicarbonate, fine, calcium carbonate, cornstarch, and then you look into the colors. I mean, this doesn't have color. I mean, that's a pancake mix, right? It's white. But it has yellow 5, red 40. Really? Red? Yellow? I mean, it just doesn't look right. And then when you look at very little line, very small letters at the bottom, contains a bioengineered food ingredient. Wow. Wow. Interesting, right? So I would definitely not recommend that one. So I had one bag. That was it. I will make sure I don't buy it again ever, even if it's a free deal. Not worth it here, given the ingredient at the bottom. These other two brands are much better from what I see. I also have one off here, given we go to Trader Joe's, which is their brand on the protein side. It's more expensive than Costco, but the ingredients are just the same pretty much as the other two at the Kodiak. It's pretty healthy thing. I don't see anything bad in it. I mean, whole wheat flour, wheat protein, leavening, buttermilk powder, sea salt. I mean, all good pretty much in that one. So that makes me feel good about buying that from Trader Joe's. At least, so I have 3 good ones and one I would definitely not recommend. So this is the beauty of this exercise here, going through all the pantry and looking at all the ingredient list, as well as, of course, the dates, and putting everything into containers if needed. Very interesting experience here, looking at the ingredients on these boxes. And I'm not even covering the cereals with you here, because this is not looking good. But at the same time, I have 2 kids and I have to give in some on a bit. So I do have one large cereals. I mean, one likes the Oreo one, the other one the cookie. So I will have to put them into containers, despite the fact that it contains bioengineered ingredients and probably some additives that are not the best here. So it's a give and take sometimes when you've got kids. So trying to reduce this as much as possible, but we still have a few in the pantry. But anyway, this video was more the reminder for you to check your pantry, make sure everything in there is good, not expired, and make sure you keep them in containers that will prevent bugs from getting in, particularly if you're talking about cereals, oats, flour, all this good stuff that bugs love. And our next step here to finish, because we're not completely finished, I'm still cleaning that pantry. Once we're done, we're gonna spray all the floor for bugs. In addition to cleaning the shelves and so on, I put some natural oil, bay leaves, all this on the shelf. But the next step will really be to spray the bottom to make sure all these bugs are gone. So hope you found this useful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Thank you all for watching. are my elbows in a large one, and for the sugar, if you can see here, I added a moisture absorber just because the sugar tends to solidify quite a bit, and I started having some little blocks here. It had been open for maybe a month or two, so moisture absorbent at the bottom.